Welcome to Running Down the Clock, where we break down all of this week's big news, events, and controversies from the National Football League. Over the next 45 minutes, we will give you basic fan perspective and opinion on the most important stories and moments happening now. So, let's start the clock. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Running Down the Clock. It is our second to last episode. There's a word for that I can't remember what the word is, but there's a word. Penultimate episode. This is leading up to Super Bowl weekend. You did scream it into the microphone, but that's okay. Sometimes your volume's not so loud, so I see why you get excited. Even though one time we talked about you keeping the microphone close to your mouth every time, you did that 1 week and then you've just given up on it.
I kind of bob back and forth. As I get excited, I come closer. As I get disengaged while you're talking, I pull further away. And then some trigger word hits, and I jump back in there with full force. And I feel like while I'm coming forward with a lot of momentum, I thrust the words forward and it just gets louder and louder. He probably just destroys the little cells in the microphone or whatever the hell it is that picks up the audio.
And people's ears. They never get to hear what you're saying because they always go, oh my God. And they kind of like flinch when you're talking.
Bit cringy, eh?
Yeah. It's because it has nothing to do with what you're saying because no one knows what you're saying because you're just screaming while you wake up from what you have to say.
I'm aware of my issues. I'm working on all of them, but it's 1% done a year on each.
I 1000% believe that you are not working on any of them.
I'm working on things.
I'm sure you're working on stuff, but none of them have to do with improving yourself as a person. Not one of them is doing that. You're doing other things like collecting plants.
Yeah, but that's part of like making my character seem more appealing.
So you're making a character. You're not just trying to be a person.
I've always been a character. I don't think I could ever be myself. Can you be yourself in a professional setting?
I feel like I'm myself every single day of the week.
I feel like you are restrained from saying and strangling who you actually want. You know?
Yeah, no, that part's true. If I had the power that I wish I had, it'd be a different world. I can tell you that. All right, let's talk about some football stuff. Did you watch any of the Pro Bowl events this past weekend?
I saw highlights of stuff. I mean, it doesn't really appeal to me, any of it. I thought, and I'm kind of happy I didn't watch any of it just because I saw the highlights and I thought the dodgeball would be cool. And I don't know, watching other people play dodgeball is not the same as watching some of the sports that I like watching other people play dodgeball. I could just be out playing dodgeball. Like it's not that entertaining to watch somebody else do what something you could be doing.
Yeah.
I can do dodgeball. Like I can't play NFL football, but I can play dodgeball. I did play dodgeball a few times outside of high school.
Wait, hold on. You sign up for a dodgeball team outside of high school?
Yeah. So like as an adult, we had a buddy who was going to university.
Which you've been for a while now.
Well, legally, yes. Legally, yes, I agree. But I mean, this story kind of sets me back. It was maybe he's not that much of an adult. So they had a dodgeball league in their university. So he just told a bunch of friends. We all showed up with a team and fake student numbers. We played and we ran the fucking table on these guys. Like we were just leagues above everybody. Like I think they were just like kind of, engineers or like just non-athletic kids who just thought, hey, it'll be fun to start a little dodgeball league. These weren't like the varsity athletes of the university. These were just like kids at the school.
I feel like you just shat on every engineering student that's ever existed in university. You just called every engineering student non-athletic.
I mean, have you seen the engineering classes?
Yeah.
Anyway, we had guys doing like handsprings, falling backwards, dodging a ball like a matrix, handspringing to get back on their feet, catching the next ball, and just tossing at these guys. Like we were just way better than these other kids. And then we were not invited back because because we were obviously ringers, they looked up all the student numbers and said, who the fuck were those guys? They were in none of my engineering classes. And we weren't invited back.
What a stupid story.
They're all stupid.
I appreciate it though. I watched
Did you watch the events?
I watched the event where they pull the wall. All the offensive linemen pull the wall, which is crazy because there was 6 sets of weights behind the wall that they all had to pull off the wall first, then drag the wall. then move the chains. Yeah, move the chains is what it was called.
That's the event. Yeah.
And then they move it 10 yards. It was a little, I don't know, it was a little weird. It was, I don't know what the point of it was. And then I watched the best catch, which was incredibly stupid. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown from the Lions won, so that meant something, but it was very dumb watching the two of them try to come up with a catch like NBA dunk contest style. It just, the catches will never be better because in the NFL, you want like a guy being tackled as he catches it with like 2 fingers or 3 fingers. That's a great catch. Or a guy jumping over 3 other people. Just jumping onto a mat or in a pool doesn't, it's not a good catch. You're basically just us in college jumping into water.
Yeah.
With our buddies. But with that all being said, this is the power the NFL has on the United States of America. 6 million people watched the Pro Bowl flag football game. 6 million. The Stanley Cup Finals last year averaged 4.5 million. That's insane. They watch something that doesn't matter, that has like nothing to do with the sport, and they still like dominated the ratings. And on top of that, they had an officiating controversy to end the game. Peyton Manning was pissed at the end of that game because they screwed up a call.
So I got 2 points to make on that. Number one, I think hockey, I love hockey, but as a spectator sport on TV, some people still love it. I find it's declining in entertainment value. It's so kind of boring and dry. Like I know less and less people that are interested in watching hockey every year. And I think this is just a little internet fact, but the viewership in hockey is actually slipping as well. Like I don't think they're growing at the same rate as a lot of the other sports.
No, they lost a lot of viewers when they had those 2 strikes back to back.
Yeah. I mean, people don't really care. And they don't market themselves well. They
No, they're
do
bad at it.
not market themselves well. Like I mentioned
The
this in
players are
one of
boring.
the
All the players are boring.
well, that's it. I mentioned this in one of the other podcasts on this network this week that every hockey interview is such a cliche compared to other sports interviews.
Yeah.
There's not like they don't have character, they don't have charisma, they don't really like capture the audience that same way. The hockey players all give the same general vanilla interview. And I don't mean that in a racial way. I just mean bland of no flavor.
Right.
You know?
Even
though
you're
vanilla is
100%.
good
Whereas
flavor.
the NBA is promoting their players, the way they dress, the way they talk, the Instagrams, their Twitters, just letting them be characters, and they're absolutely dominating in terms of social media ratings. You mentioned that you were on another podcast. I think it was called Hat Trick. Hat Trick you were on,
Yeah.
which is on the Ordinary Podcast Network, and also this episode leading up to Super Bowl Sunday is brought to us and everyone listening by the Ordinary Podcast Network's merch store. So we do have merchandise. It is up and running now. It's running down the clock merch. They've got merchandise for their other shows as well. Check it out on the ordinarypodcast.com. And support me or support Poya or support Jordan and the guys on the Hat Trick. Yeah, check it out. Anyways, so
the
the
other point I was going to make
go
on that.
Sorry, did I cut you
points.
off on something? Did you have 2 points there?
I did have 2 points. I always got 2 points. 2 points P. That's what they called me.
Oh yeah, they do. 2-point Poya.
That's a callback to like episode 3 or something.
A callback from like episode 3 or something like that. Yep.
Yeah. Is that not just so fitting for this season that the referees had no clue what's going on? The people have criticized the referees this year a lot, and we mentioned it before that they're way too inconsistent, that there's the conspiracy of it being rigged is only growing with the poor officiating.
Yeah.
And the fact that in the Pro Bowl they didn't know the rules and they didn't know how to timekeep properly, is that not just so fitting?
Absolutely fitting. So Roger Goodell today came out and said that the officiating's never been better in the NFL, which is crazy because one of the most important games 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago was decided by poor officiating. And so for him to come out and say that is like, why not just... So the problem with the NFL's officiating is they're not full-time employees of the NFL. So they have to have other jobs. There's a lot of teachers, there's some judges, there's some lawyers, and they have to take time off of their regular scheduled work to officiate these games on the weekends. Whereas why is this... They make enough money. Why is this not a full-time job? Officiating. It's a full-time job in, I believe, other sports, basketball, hockey, baseball. Why not an NFL?
I don't know, but I did see
No one
something that
does.
the
That's the thing, is nobody does know because
officiating
it's such
crew
a
for
nightmare this
this
weekend.
Super Bowl
Is a nightmare.
is the ones who throw the most flags
Yeah.
out of any officiating crew.
So do you think that they're going to be a huge part of this game? Do you think the officiating is going to be a massive part of this game?
100%. I feel that that's the storyline for the season, and I don't know what the NFL is cooking up. Like, I mean, they're not stupid as a business. They understand it. If there was an officiating problem which would harm the league as a business, they would work to resolve it. I don't think they just sweep it on the rug. Maybe they don't acknowledge it for, they don't want to add to a controversy. But I feel in the offseason, they do something about it. I don't think they want to have an officiating problem because I think that doesn't help. I don't think that helps the league, right? I don't
No,
think that
people are
helps the
angry.
fans. Yeah.
It's making people angry, and it is. I mean, it's something that needs to be solved. There's no way. I don't know how to solve it, but I mean, I would just hire them full time. Um, but do you think that? So here's something else that came up this week. There's an NFL player, I think he was a running back, that said that the NFL is scripted, and he claimed that at the beginning of each year they got a script. All the players got a script.
Are we
That
avoiding saying his name, or you just forgot?
no, I'm trying to remember who it was.
Arian Foster?
Arian Foster.
Yeah.
That is right. So Arian Foster, who was a good running back in his day, claimed on whatever show that the NFL sends them a script like you're going to get hurt this week or this is going to happen this week, and it's just been a running meme for the last 2 weeks. Also, what a
Well,
ridiculous thing to say! Like, isn't that crazy?
the part that kind of threw me off, like, no, I only saw that little chunk of the interview. I didn't see the whole thing to get the full context of it. But the part that threw me off was like why it's kind of a little bit unbelievable the way he presented that idea was the practices weren't practicing, it was just rehearsing the script.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense because we've seen videos of teams practicing like they have open practices.
Yeah, like why is Belichick watching another team's video if he's already got the script? Like why does he need to watch their practice of how they're going to run the script? Like they know. He
Maybe
already
that's
knows how
part.
it's scripted,
Maybe
right?
that's part of.
I
Maybe
know
that's part
that's
of the
yeah,
script. Part of the script is
but
him faking that we need to. Hey, listen, guys, they're getting onto us about our scripts here. Belichick, get out there, do some bullshit, and then people will understand that this is not scripted football.
yeah,
Even though we claimed like 3 weeks ago that the National Football League is not a sports enterprise; it is an entertainment business,
yeah.
which means they
But all
can't
that
be
means
sued for stuff like this.
they can't legally be in trouble if they were to do like a WWF thing, right?
Yeah,
They can't legally, but it just doesn't really add up, especially with some of the injuries. Like you see a guy get his leg snapped.
yeah.
I mean that like that part seems pretty real to me, right? Like it's
A guy almost died. The guy almost died this year. Imagine him reading the script, like, oh shit, how am I gonna do
well,
this?
did you see all the conspiracies afterwards with Mar Hamlin? That they had the fake body doubles coming to the game and stuff. Like they wouldn't show his face. He was just wearing a hood, and like it's not outrageous for a guy in a cold climate to wear a hood.
I didn't
But
see
there's
that.
a
That's
lot of
amazing.
there's a lot of conspiracies. Like, oh no, that's a body double. Like they're not. That's not the real him.
Jesus, it's wild.
I,
I don't know.
I,
We
I
should we
love a good conspiracy theory, but I need some substance. Like why? Okay, sure. That's a conspiracy theory. Why though? Like what? Who's gaining something from a body double? They could
yeah,
have just said he's at home resting. Like that's
yeah.
I don't get
And
that
also
one.
if they were gonna do scripts, it'd be a better story than like some of the like why are the Lions losing every year if that's a they're just having a 20-year script of them sucking so they can come back and be 9-8 one year. Like that doesn't make any sense.
No, I mean it's. I'm curious what like Arian Foster's thing was on that. Because you didn't watch the whole interview, right?
No, I saw that
No.
little clip and was like, this is
Yeah,
ridiculous. I'm not
exactly.
listening to this. Not
So,
listening to the rest
like
of this.
maybe it was taken out of context. Who knows what
Yeah.
the
The
rest
other
of it was
thing I
about?
heard this week was so Aaron Rodgers is still contemplating coming back next year to play football. Did you hear about how he's going to decide? or what's
Yeah, a
helping
lot
me.
of people are linking it to the Raiders because the darkness, the dark
Oh,
colors of
this
the Raiders,
so
and then going into the sensory deprivation in the dark, coming out of the darkness.
yeah, so I it's
Raider.
called the darkness retreat that he's going on. 4 days in absolute solitude, locked in like this igloo looking thing, um, with no light, pure darkness, and just food
Yeah.
and water for 4 days. Like, and then that's where he's going to make his decision whether he comes back.
So my initial thought on this was after let's say 9 hours, I feel like he's gonna think I've been in here for 20 hours.
For sure.
After maybe let's say 30 hours, he's gonna think I've been here for 5 days. They forgot about me. They fucking forgot about me.
He apparently you can walk out anytime.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm just the 4 days of nothing. I don't know. Like, I'm sure people have done it. I'm not saying it's not doable.
Well, people
But
have done it. They're in the
for
prison
sure.
systems. They get thrown down in the hole.
But you need to have some sort of reference of like how many days it's been, or
Oh, for sure.
something. Because most people, you lose track of time so quickly with no sort of sensory indication of what time of day it is or how many days have passed or
Yeah.
anything. Your internal clock just turns off because it has nothing to work off of.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I wonder if someone
So,
just knocks on the door like 4 days later. It's like, hey, you made it.
but that
You're out.
throws the whole thing off, right? As soon as he starts having some human contact
But
there, it
that's what I
throws
think
the
the goal.
entire.
I think the goal is 4 days for
Well, for
someone
sure,
like
yeah,
to
he's
get
trying to stimulate like the DMT
exactly. Yeah.
chemicals that are in your body. That's the whole thing of trying to
Yeah.
get that spiritual experience. I get it.
I'm wondering if he's going to
It's
be as lonely in that dark hole as he was in like the wide receivers meeting room. So I don't know any of these people. No one's talking. It's the same thing I'm dealing with at the darkness retreat. Okay, let's go on to some Super Bowl stuff. Also, let's
before
this is a good
before we
segue.
touch on the Super Bowl. Do we want to do out of respect a dual timeout so you can say a few words to maybe thank LeBron James or just give your
So
appreciation
we
to
are
him
going to talk about LeBron James because
for
I
him surpassing Kareem? Because I'm curious. I thought maybe you'd want to just extend your congratulations out to him.
no, I have okay, I watched because it is something of relevance and importance in the world that this is one of those stats that no one ever expected to be beaten. He was so far ahead of everyone else that it was like, okay, this will never be caught. And LeBron caught him last night, and not one single player on his team ran up to congratulate him. He did not congratulate any teammate, not only on his current team, but of any team he's ever been on. I don't like the guy. I just don't. I straight up don't like him. He
You
said
don't like
last
him.
year, someone said, "If what happens if you beat the record? Are you gonna cry?" He said, "No, I'm gonna cry if I win another NBA championship. I'm not gonna cry if I break some individual record. Those don't mean anything to me." And then the motherfucker cried last night when he was getting applauded.
I don't think. I mean, I got no beef with the guy going about his thing however he wants. I don't care there. My only take on the whole thing was he was gonna beat this record either that game or the next game.
Yeah, the
I
whole
feel like
game
they
plan
weren't
switched. The whole game
exactly.
plan
I
switched.
feel like they should have maybe the rest of the team because he still did well as he always does. I think the rest of the team just kind of sat back on that one, thinking, "Well, we'll get the ball to LeBron and we'll let him do his thing, get his point." But if he didn't get it this game, he was getting the next game.
Yeah, I
Go
agree.
for the win. They needed that win. They need
They
that win.
need
Like,
more
what if that
wins.
win
Yes,
comes back to haunt them? That loss
yes.
comes back to haunt them at the end of the season.
100%. They are not in a playoff spot right now. So they are congratulating a guy that's supposed to have them at the top of the standings. They are 13th, so they're not even in the play-in tournament. They absolutely compromised their game plan so that he could score. He needed 36 points to beat the record. He got 38 in the game. He scored the 36 points in the first 3 quarters, which means that he was non-existent in the fourth quarter when they actually needed to win the game. If that doesn't tell you about this person, I don't know what does.
Yeah, I got a different take on him than you do.
You're pro
I don't
LeBron.
have a
You
beef.
think LeBron's the
I
best
don't have.
basketball player of all time.
I'm out of nostalgia and what I grew up with. I was always a Jordan guy, but I don't deny LeBron's greatness. Like, I mean, you can't deny.
No, that's what I mean. It's like the
He's a
stats are
pass
there.
first guy. He's a pass
He's
first
not a
guy,
pass. He's not a pass
and
first guy.
he's still leads the league all time record. He's crushed the record in scoring. I don't know why they don't count playoffs included, because he's had that record for a long time.
And he's only going to score more points. He's got like 2 years
Oh,
left.
he's
So
gonna hit
play with his
40,000
kid.
for sure.
Yeah. He's the only person that said he's a pass first guy. And
Yeah.
we know he's a liar about everything. He sat down and said the game when Kobe scored 81 against the Raptors, he's in an interview 10 years
I
later
know.
being like, oh no, I know he was going to score 81 that game. I sat down with my buddies and I was like, he's going to score over 70 points this game. Get out of here, man. I can't think of a more unlikable guy that's at the top of his field.
Ugh.
If you're not counting like the cheaters, like Barry, I actually think Barry Bonds is more liked than LeBron James. Pete Rose is more liked than LeBron James. Top of their
Why? I
field.
don't know why. I don't know why anybody would dislike Pete Rose.
I don't know why. I actually very much like
Pete
Pete Rose.
Rose is Pete Rose is he's
Yeah.
a great player. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He should be in the Hall of Fame ahead of so many other players. He
Oh
bet
yeah.
on himself to win. If you like, as an athlete, as anybody, you bet on yourself in life. Betting on yourself to win shouldn't be a crime.
Agreed.
That's
Agreed.
sports. You're betting on yourself to win.
Agreed.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
All right. Can we talk about this?
Let's go.
The big
Let's
game
go.
now. So I don't think the NFL is ever going to sue us, but they have sued people before for using the term Super Bowl, like churches and just different like cooking shows. Like, hey, this is what a lot of times when you watch TV, you'll hear them say, "What are you guys cooking for the big game?" It's because the NFL will sue you if you say Super Bowl without their permission on like a different network or something.
Now,
That's not going to happen here because
there is a catch to that, though. I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, but we're not making a profit off this name.
that's because no one
You know,
listens.
like if you're a business, you're selling something, you're advertising, you're using a trademark thing for like this.
Right?
This is two morons talking to each other over the internet.
Yeah.
It just happens to be recorded. We're not getting paid.
No.
There's no profitability here.
No.
I mean, I'm sure the network we're on is getting a fortune out of this, but
When should we start asking for money for this?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm in the doghouse. I don't know where I stand.
Well, they got you on other shows, so you're doing something right.
Yeah, because you turned him down.
That's not true. I was watching the Pro Bowl. Um, okay, so Super Bowl. This is the first time that two black quarterbacks have started for the teams playing in the Super Bowl against each other head to head. That is huge. They're also MVP candidates. They're also both a little bit hurt going into this game. Mahomes more recently, but let's not forget about Jalen Hurts getting hurt with, I think, 3 or 4 games left in the regular season. So he missed those last games, came back for the last one. That is a story amongst itself. It's also the Kelsey brothers game, the first time two brothers have played in the game against each other, but it's not the first time in the Super Bowl that two brothers have gone head to head because the Harbaugh brothers coached head to head Ravens 49ers that a lot of people are forgetting about when they're talking on the TV. But Jason Kelsey and Travis Kelsey, both in this game. Some other just stats out there that people are talking about is the evenness of these teams. Both are 16-3 on the season. Both have scored 546 points. Each team has 6 All-Pros. Each team has a Kelsey brother. Each team has their QB as one of those All-Pros, and they're both the number 1 seeds in their conferences. Just off the top of your head, who has the edge in this game?
I think mentally, the Chiefs, but I also think I think the Eagles are the better team. I think the Eagles win this game, and I know you think so too because we already made our picks a few weeks ago. Yeah. I asked you in the Kelsey Bowl, if we were to get to the Kelsey Bowl, who do we want to win? And we both jumped on Jason. I don't like him any more than Travis, but I'd rather see the Eagles win.
I like them both. And if you're listening to this podcast, turn us off and go listen to the Kelsey Brothers podcast. It's probably significantly better.
Yeah. I mean,
they talk about actual football.
They get some pretty high profile guests.
Yeah, we've never had a guest before.
I was thinking about I could do some voices and like pretend like we have a guest, but just nobody would care about who this guy is. You
Who's the
know,
voice that you would do?
well, just some random guy. Like that's the thing. I can't
Just a
impersonate a
random
celebrity.
dude.
That's the problem. I can't impersonate a celebrity voice.
So you would
I
just
just
do
have
a guy that nobody knows and bring him on the show as a celebrity guest?
yeah. Well, they don't know us either, so I mean, it's par it's par for the field. But I was going to throw in a little when you're talking about the brothers. I was going to throw in a little trivia for you. Can
Go.
you name another incident when there was two brothers in the Super Bowl though?
The Harbaugh brothers.
No, players.
Two players in the Super Bowl in the same Super Bowl
Yeah, they're brothers.
on the same team then.
However,
What do you mean, however? This is the first time
however you want,
Kelsey.
just two brothers in the Super Bowl. I can throw you one example I know off the top of my head.
Well, you're dying to say it. Your hand's in the air right now. Go, say it.
My hand is not in the air. You're gonna lie. Pulling an LBJ. The McCourty twins played in the Super Bowl together.
On the
They
same
won.
team.
Yeah, they won. That's
Yep.
one example.
For the
I
Patriots,
think
right?
there's another one. I'm trying to think of another one.
That was for the Patriots?
Yeah. Yeah. They were
And
twins as well. It's
yeah.
like a double brother thing.
I know Tiki Barber and Rondé Barber wasn't the same Super Bowl, but they both have Super Bowl rings.
Yeah.
Then off the top of my head, I got nobody else. Was that the only stat you have, or do you have more?
Well, you just mentioned brothers, and that was the only one I thought of. So
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you came prepared with like a whole list.
No, I'm cram at the last minute.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah.
That seems about right. I think the Eagles pass rush wins them this game.
3.75 GPA, cram at the last minute though. Not bad. Not bad.
You just bragged about yourself over my comment about the Eagles pass rush winning this game for them. Is that what happened? So instead of keeping the flow of the show going, you're talking about your GPA again as a 37-year-old man.
36.
36-year-old man. You're talking about your GPA. Nobody
We can
cares.
go back to the pass rush.
Your GPA doesn't help you because you're doing a stupid podcast on whatever night it is for no reason at all.
I actually enjoy them.
No, it is fun. That's why we keep doing it, and we're doing it for
we
the
do
people.
these. We do the same thing, just not even recorded. And
that's why we started. That's why we started.
So much better than the ones that are recorded.
That's because there's usually some poor waiter or waitress at a table that has to be stuck there listening to us argue while she asks us what we want. And the answer is
Why
always
does she keep
sangria.
coming back? Why does she keep coming back?
Because we can drink
Why
our
does she keep
sangria
coming
so
back?
fast.
Oh, to
It
take
comes back because we drink our drinks too quickly.
Yeah.
Then she just has to stay for more bullshit. The other
Pass
note about
rush.
the Kelsey is, so this story, Jason Kelsey for the Philadelphia Eagles, his wife is 38 weeks pregnant. So she could give birth any day now. She's bringing her OBGYN to the Super Bowl in case that happens. That's cool. They're going to have to leave. If water breaks, she's leaving anyways. But at least she's got this. I mean, she's not going to stay.
Is she gonna? You still have a team there to just deliver the baby in the?
Well, it just said that she's bringing her OBGYN. It doesn't say the OBGYN is bringing a team.
Can the OBGYN not deliver a baby?
I don't know what an OBGYN does.
That's like the gynecologist, the kind of.
Well, that's what OBGYN stands for. Yes. But tell me what they do.
I'm going to go with.
They're the ones writing it off.
See, the thing is, I don't think you and I are ever going to need to see one. I mean, I don't go see the male doctor, let alone the female doctor.
The what? The male doctor?
I don't know. What's the equivalent? What's the male equivalent?
Of an OBGYN?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's the guy that like checks your prostate?
I think that's just your general contractor doctor. You know, that's the
just the regular doctors checking your prostate.
That's the regular. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you go see
not
your
a regular. Okay. How about this?
Your
guy?
family doctor. What do you call him?
The guy that gives vasectomies. That's a specialist, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So that's the OBGYN for men. But he's stopping babies from happening.
Yeah.
Don't that. That's not an thing to
Well, I mean, all he's doing is a quick snip. Like, you know, they do it in like 5 minutes now. I feel like he's a one-dimensional guy.
What is the OBGYN doing? He's just screaming, push. Push.
No. I mean, like, what about
just
infection?
Push.
What about other stuff? You know, like what about all the organs in there? You know, like they got to know They gotta cure a
I
chicken, a
think
cat, a
they
horse, dog the same day. Like
nope, that's
they gotta
event.
know a
That's
bunch of
event.
stuff. They gotta
That's
know a bunch of stuff.
I don't
The
think the
vasectomy guy's just snipping. He's snipping what is the vas deferens or something? He just snips that. Get the hell out of my office.
is it the vas deferens that he snips?
What is it then?
I don't know. You're throwing out words. I don't know what they mean.
I'm I got a decent memory from biology class, man. That 3.75
Oh my
GPA dude was
god.
earning some.
Can we talk about the Super Bowl?
You brought it up. You brought it up.
Um, okay. The average Sunday night football each week draws 20 million viewers. The Super Bowl brings in 100 million. So that means 80 million people who don't give a shit about football are watching this game. And I'm assuming it's for commercials and food. Do you get excited about these commercials?
Well, I think we should preface this again with we live in Canada, and some years we have had the American feed,
Right.
but most years we get the Canadian feeds. I think we're back to having the Canadian feed,
We are.
unless you have some sort of other system to watch them on. And no, I don't care about the commercials. And I'll tell you what else I don't care about. I hate the halftime show.
Can't
I
stand it.
absolutely can't stand it.
It's an hour long.
But it's not the length of it. I am a firm believer that live music is meant to be enjoyed live. There's a reason they have like all the the quality things that they do to make the recorded tracks better.
Right.
All that post production stuff they do because it sounds better.
Yeah.
Being at a live venue, listening to it in person is great, but listening to a record through the TV or recording of live music is awful. I hate it. Plus, they do this ADHD style where they play 5 seconds of the song you like, and then they jump to the next one, and they jump to the next one. I hate that. I hate the halftime show so much. I think the
Now,
commercials are better, and I hate the commercials.
so do you think that the halftime show would be good if you were at the game then?
Personally, no, because I don't like that
You
style of
just said live music was better, and
I
now
said
that's a
live
live
music was
concert
better,
at the
but I
game.
also added I don't like that ADHD style of just like playing 5 seconds of a song and then jumping to the next
Yeah,
one.
you want whole songs.
Well, yeah, that's like someone who's coked out and they just want to hear the song. Okay, I want to go to the next one. 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 That's how these songs are. I don't. if you're at the game, I want to enjoy what's happening there. Do you like watching the game? Or you just
I'm
want to
with
watch the
you.
highlights.
I'm all with you. That
Yeah,
would be all highlights. Yeah,
but you're
that would
giving
be
me
all
this disapproving look. Like, what the fuck is this guy saying?
highlights.
You're excited for Rihanna, aren't you?
I'm actually was going to
I
point
know.
out that I am not excited about Rihanna
Oh,
this year, and I know a lot of people are, but I couldn't tell you any new music that she's had
yeah.
out. Um, especially last year's was meant for our generation, with like Dre and Snoop and Eminem and those guys. Um, I think Prince was the best Super Bowl halftime show that there ever has been. But I don't know. Like I also don't. I use the halftime show to just like get away nowadays because like it's so long. And you're right. They don't do a whole song. It's like so overproduced and it's a little nuts. And I don't know. I also don't get excited for the commercials either. And a lot of them leak. They're out now. If you're like listening to this, you can actually watch the Super Bowl commercials now. They're online. You don't
Sure.
have to watch the game anymore. They're out there.
They're spending millions of dollars on these. Why wouldn't they want them out there?
That's what I mean. Is so you don't even need to watch the game. Like, do these 80 million people that don't like football understand this?
It's just an event, people.
I
You ever
understand it's an event.
no, but you know how people say, "Oh, it's an excuse to drink." There's a time where you just realize there's no need for an excuse. You don't make
This
an
is
excuse.
so
Just lie about it.
here's my other pet peeve about the Super Bowl. And it's my biggest one. I wear a Lions hat a lot when I walk around the city. A lot in Vancouver, so you get asked a lot of questions. I fucking hate when someone who doesn't watch football asks me who I think is going to win or who I want to win. If you don't know the teams playing, don't ask me this question. What is that answer going to give you? You're then just going to ask more questions about, well, who's on the team? What did they do? How well did they do this year? Like, this is not a way to connect with me. If you're talking to me, we already have something else in common, which is why we're talking. Let's talk about that instead of just jumping ship about something that I also don't care who wins. I'm a Lions fan. It doesn't matter to me. Unless the Lions are playing, I don't care who wins. And I will place a bet on a team to win. And I still won't root for them. I just want a close game. But this is the one question: who's winning the Super Bowl? Who's winning the Super Bowl? Like, I don't know, and I don't care.
Yeah, Can I maybe give you a different perspective of that?
I
This
hope
is
so.
just a kind-hearted person that thought maybe they could connect with you. They didn't know how to, so they just brought up a topic which they know nothing about. So they don't know how to ask a better question. They were just hoping that maybe it would capture your interest. You'd go talking about them, maybe explain a few things, maybe they'd learn something, but it would lead to a nice conversation. Not you just, what the fuck are you talking about? Just shut the fuck up. You don't know the teams? Yo, Google that shit. Just look it up, learn a little bit about something, and then come talk to me. And do you even know the team I'm wearing? I'm wearing the Lions hat. They're not even in it. So you think I care about the teams that are in it when I'm clearly supporting a team that's not in it and has never been in it, and who knows if they ever will be in it. So shut the fuck up and step away from me. That's your reaction when this person was just like, oh, he seemed like a nice guy. I thought maybe.
Well, that's what I mean. I would rather they do all that stuff that you just explained.
Yeah. They had the best of intentions.
But it doesn't, like, it's still, I don't know. I don't like it.
I know you
I don't
don't
like it.
like it.
I don't like it.
I
And
know
it's
you don't.
one thing, it's the most common question coming up on Super Bowl week. And then when you ask them, like, oh yeah, well, who do you think's gonna win? Because like that's what they're kind of involved now. They'll go, oh, I don't know. I don't even know who's in the game.
You just make up a team. Oh, the Arizona Pancakes are doing great this year. I think they're going to take it.
Just keep walking. We don't need to talk. We don't always need to be talking to other people.
Yeah. Now, I like to share a little something about the difference between us. Your phone is
Oh, here we go.
forever on do not disturb,
Oh, here we
whereas
go.
I am relentlessly calling people, not even texting, calling people to speak to them. And I think that speaks volumes of your perception of don't fucking talk to me, walk the fuck away.
You call me 3 times a day. I can't pick up every single time. I'll give you 1-2 conversations a week, max. Also, by the way, you're the only person I talk to on the phone. You're the only person I do hour-long sessions with on the internet. Like, what do you need from me, man? What do you need?
I
Just
just
say
like to
that.
check in.
I know you like to check in. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'll let you know if I'm in the hospital. I'll let you know. You're my emergency contact. If anything happens, everything will be fine. It's gonna be fine.
I got less and less people that I answer my calls every year.
Oh,
I think
really?
I'm down to maybe 2 or 3.
Who are
That's
the other
it.
two? So there's me, and then who are the other two?
I got one buddy who lives kind of close by, and then there's a third buddy that's I've known him since preschool or something. He'll answer if he's not busy.
But I also, part of the thing is I know you're calling when you're driving. So I,
Yeah.
I know it's not like a genuine you have questions to ask, you want to talk. It's you being selfish trying to get your time faster in the car by.
No, it's half of it that's true. It is a convenient moment for me to call, just because you know how it is at work. I could get interrupted any second and have to hang up.
Yeah.
I find that more rude. This way, I know at least I'll have time to talk. But no, I always got something to say, even if it's just
Oh, I
like,
know you've always got something to say. I know that. That doesn't mean you need to say it. I know that you always have something to say. But you don't always need to say it.
you'd be shocked at how much I actually keep to myself.
All
But
right,
such a different person. Like you've worked with me before. I'm probably the most unapproachable person at work. I just
Oh,
have
I
this.
would never approach you at work.
No, there
You're
you go.
terrifying. You were a terrifying human being
Yeah,
when you were working.
yeah.
There's no nonsense.
Well, that's game day. That's how these football players are, right?
Yeah,
Off the
yeah.
field, they might, like have like a little fluffy poodle that they're playing around with, rolling around at the park with. They're just super friendly, chatting up everybody. On the field, they're bone crushing hits. Like they're just laying out guys. They're all
Okay.
business.
Different people. Would you ever want to go to a Super Bowl live?
Yes and no. If that's like my bucket list of like amazing events to go to, that's not near the top for me.
I agree. I think once upon a time it was, but the fact that it's at a neutral site, I think it's more of a business event now because tickets are so expensive and it's just like packages you buy and really only like sponsors and other people can really afford to go. It's not really a fan friendly event, like a real true fan, like especially because of the neutral site, which the AFC NFC championships have now been talking about going to a neutral site. I think that's a mistake as well. Like part of the whole regular season is trying to win enough games that you get home field advantage up until the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Didn't they sell 50,000 tickets to a neutral site game?
They did. That's why they're now talking about doing it forever, having essentially 3 Super Bowls instead of just the one.
Why not just have all the matches neutral sites? Like nobody plays at home.
Just one in the middle of the United States, just one
No,
stadium.
you just have 32 stadiums and you're randomly assigned each week. Like the 49ers and the Buffalo Bills are playing in Jacksonville.
Yeah, that'd be no one would go. They would never sell tickets to that. Nobody would go.
I mean, no, yeah. I think there should be a way like that make like the baseball thing that the all-star game. I know, but they have to, I know I get they got to pre-book it in advance, but that the Pro Bowl actually has some sort of meaning that the host conference gets to host the Super Bowl.
See, that would be cool.
You know,
That would be
make it
cool.
that your team actually, or just something, some way that you can not have neutral site games. Screw the neutral site thing.
Yeah, and you can do the Pro Bowl after the Super Bowl, and then be like, this game decides where the next team's home game is for the Super Bowl. Like the next Super Bowl will be AFC home or NFC home, based on the Pro Bowl after the Super Bowl. That'd be cool, and guys would play for that.
Now, the last two Super Bowls, you saw a home team win. Has a home team ever played in the Super Bowl before? The Rams won at home. Tampa Bay won at home. Was that the first time a home team was actually in the Super Bowl? Because Tampa Bay was the first time a home team won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think it might have been the first time. I'm trying to
Yeah,
like just off the top of my head, I don't know, but I think it was the first time a home team played in the Super Bowl.
I
Maybe the
think
Cowboys or 49ers just based off of like them winning most of them in the 90s, but I don't know. And they're both like stadiums that would have it because they generally go to warm
warm
weather.
climates. I
Yeah.
think New York got one once as part of their
Yep.
deal
Detroit
to
Detroit
build a
had one, but it
stadium.
was indoor.
Yeah.
So you either have to be indoor or a sunny spot. A sunny spot.
Yeah.
Now, what do you do Super Bowl day? Do you have favorite food? Do you have a favorite place to go? Like what is your day look like at Super Bowl Sunday? The big game.
It's usually rushing to just get to whatever Super Bowl party I'm going. And I go to the same Super Bowl party every year. And
Right.
this is my it's my same like my first like white boy friend I had. You know, I grew up eating Persian food every day as a kid, and I had meatloaf with ketchup on it for the first time at this guy's house when I was a little kid. And we were friends then. We kind of fell out of touch, and then we ended up, reconnecting as adults. And we actually had last year was quite one of the most eventful Super Bowl parties that he's ever thrown. Somehow, one of the other guys there, my buddy, he brought his daughter. She's like maybe a year younger, so a
Okay.
year or
Well, we're getting
so.
old. We're getting older now. People bring
Yeah,
daughters.
and it's fine. The daughter was not the problem at all. She was very well behaved, lovely child. But she walked around the room at one point, and she was just dragging something along behind her. And I was kind of paying attention. I looked at it, I didn't think anything of it. And my buddy slaps me. He's like, "Are you witnessing what's happening?" And it kind of took me a second to realize. Daughter's carrying a ball gag, just walking across the room, dragging a ball gag. And I'm just thinking, like, what the fuck? Like, I'm thinking like some Ving Rhames, Pulp Fiction shit. And like
So
everyone kind of
she's
looks at the guy.
wandering the house, goes into the guy's bedroom or kitchen or wherever it was left,
It's a bedroom, yeah.
bedroom, and brings this out. What did he say? What did he have to say about that?
I mean, he didn't deny it. He just, he gets freaky. Like he just he
Does
went
he
with
have a
it.
part? Does he have a partner, or is this just a
Yeah,
random?
he had a girlfriend. He had a girlfriend, and
Okay,
I think everyone's question is who was wearing the ball gag, and it was kind of
that's
very
my next
quickly
question.
and oddly determined he was wearing the ball
I
gag.
mean, it's his Super Bowl party. He was rushing to get all the food out. He forgot to put away his ball gag.
Yeah, but the ball gag was in the bedroom. He just didn't expect this little girl to go like under the bed or whatever and just grab the ball gag that got tossed there after the night's escapades. But
So you're going to a ball gag Super Bowl each year?
yeah, I mean, this one might be the whole tickle trunk. We don't know.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like
Anything goes,
one
right?
can only hope. Yeah.
Yeah,
One can. You guys
you
might.
got to
You
wonder
might have to
why
like.
those 80 million people are going, right? It's not just the game. Most of them
No,
don't give a shit about the game.
none of them do. 80 million don't. 100
No,
million watch. 80 million don't care. What's your favorite food item?
you know what? I'm doing ribs this year. I'm bringing some ribs.
Okay.
but they're
Like
all good. I mean,
you got ribs, you got chicken wings, you got buffalo dip, you got pulled
dips.
pork.
I love dips, but dips don't take the top spot. I'm a savory guy. Like last year, what I did is I did steak bites. I just got some nice steaks, marinated them, seasoned them up, and at halftime when they got the show going, I'm popping in and out just while the steaks are on the grill. I just did, and then cut them into cubes, and I got steak bites because I still wanted to see Eminem and Snoop and 50 and
No, for
just
sure.
childhood guys. But yeah, like
Well, 50 was a
that's
surprise.
what
There's no way
halftime's
you could
for
have
me,
known he
just
was
heating
there.
up the food.
Oh yeah, no, halftime is for resetting the food. 100%. The
Yeah,
second meal comes out.
yeah.
The first meal is usually the lighter like dips and like chips and stuff like that, and then you bring out
Wings,
the steak
nachos are
and
good.
heavier stuff, the ribs and all that for the second half because it's later at night.
You know me, I'm a bit of a gourmet guy. The less store bought and the more homemade, the better it is.
Yeah, I don't know anything about you about that.
Really?
You did make your own sushi tonight, though, did you not?
Oh yeah. Well, at least I lied about it. But
Yeah, at
I've
least you
cooked for
lied
you
about it.
before. I've cooked for you before.
You cooked for me one time before.
Yeah.
One time.
Well, that was the only time you've ever come by.
While you live in the middle of nowhere.
Sure. But I mean, you can't say I wouldn't cook for you more if you came by more often. I'd
No, I
cook.
believe that that would be true.
Yeah. I'm
I
one for
believe
one. I'm batting 1,000 on the.
it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. I'd say that I barbecue for you a lot more though.
Because you won't leave a 5 block radius of your house.
Why would I
Yeah.
choose to live where everything is?
Well, I used to live not too far from you and you still never came by.
Well, I mean, 5 block radius.
Actually, you did come by that other place on Main Street
Yeah, all the time, actually.
once,
Anyways,
but
there's no way this is exciting talk for anybody that's
no,
listening. Let's go
no.
on to some Super Bowl prop bets. The weirdest ones actually that I could find. So, I mean, prop bets are weird. You can bet on literally everything these days, depending on what province or state you're on. Um, Here are some of the
Except for our
ones.
province.
Yeah, you can't bet on that at all. What color will Rihanna's eyeshadow be to begin the halftime show?
It's
Also, can't people know this? Like, don't people within the circles know this and tell other people so they can just put their entire life savings on it and win money?
Yeah, her makeup artist.
Makeup
I'm
artists,
sure it's gonna be from her makeup line.
100%.
Um, so just think of which eyeshadows.
The
It's
one
gonna be
that's
costume stuff though. It's all colorful. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know anything about makeup.
no, I'm not saying that you do. I'm not asking you what the answer is. I'm just saying that this is what the bets are.
Yeah, it's got to go with her outfit. So then you got to make if you're gonna play the eyeshadow, you got to parlay that with the outfit because it's all got to flow together. And then what the outfit is also got to match up with her song. Now, the other thing you can do is check out her last tours a bit, and see if she has a consistent song she comes out to.
What a wild answer that is. Wasn't even what I was expecting.
Well, what is a bad answer?
No, it's a great answer.
That's a 3.5,
I didn't expect
3.75
you to
GPA
match her
answer.
eyeshadow with her dress. I didn't think that was going to come out.
Oh, for sure. Come on, you got to match it all. You think they're
I
just going to
get that.
mismatch
I just
everything?
don't.
This is
I
all
don't.
very carefully choreographed.
I don't know if you can place a bet on that. Same game parlay. The eyeshadow and the dress.
You play the
That's
dress
what you're
off.
going for. Which Anheuser Busch brand? This one actually is crazy. Which Anheuser Busch brand commercial to run first? So Anheuser Busch owns all of the beers that are being drank. Bud Light, Budweiser. I don't even know the rest of this off the top of my head. I think Coors is one of those, Coors Banquet. But so they own 20 different beer companies. Which one of those is going to get the top spot? I would guess Budweiser, just because I think that's the most drank beer in the United States. But I don't know. I don't know. It's just weird. It's a weird bet to be able to place. Um, During the national anthem, I know you can bet on the time of the national anthem, like over 130 or under 130, but now you can bet the length of the word brave in the national anthem. I think it's like over or under 3 seconds or like that.
Take the over. For this guy, country singer sings slow. Slow
He's
like
a country
molasses.
singer. Who's singing the national anthem?
I forget a guy's name. I don't know my country that well, but I
Morgan
know
Whalen. Is it Morgan Whalen?
that doesn't sound correct.
I don't know who it is.
No, but take the over. He's not
Take
going
the
to speak
over.
through.
You think
He's got a
country
lot of
singers?
pride. They got a lot of pride. They're going to want that time in the spotlight. They're going to be there for a bit. And yeah, he's going to extend brave.
Okay. Those are the three I got. And the last thing, I know we didn't talk about the game at all because, I mean, if you want to actually know about the players in the game and the strategies in the game, this isn't the right podcast for you. There's a million out there. Just turn on the NFL TV or TSN or something. But this one will be funner, I think, and you'll laugh a little bit more. Anyways, this is the end of the show, so I don't know why I'm trying to pitch it now. There's a bar in Philadelphia it's a notorious Kansas City Chiefs bar. Now, the owner was getting absolutely flooded with reservation requests by Chiefs fans. So he decided to close the bar for the day. Now, he says he didn't want to turn away the regulars or the regular people that support the bar because of how busy it was going to be. But clearly, this is a decision you can't just have all of the Kansas City Chiefs fans in one cluster in a bar in Philadelphia where all the rabid Eagles fans are going to be. That just sounds like danger to me.
Yeah, that's tough, win or lose. If they win, they get beat up. If they lose, they can't leave.
Exactly. So it's a smart decision by this guy. I know everyone working there probably is pissed they're going to lose out on tips and stuff, but I think it's a smart decision.
Yeah. Now, there's one I was thinking about. You know how every time one of these opposing teams in the playoffs recently puts their team's jersey on the Rocky statue?
Yes.
Why doesn't one of these Philadelphia fans take a Chiefs jersey?
I was thinking the same thing. Yes.
And your team will win.
If you are an Eagles fan, put the Chiefs jersey on the statue, make it look like a setup against the Chiefs fans.
Yeah.
All you're doing is firing your boys up more. Agreed. Agreed.
I don't know why
that's a bad karma move. That's a bad karma move, though.
Now, karma is something we can quickly debate because I think a lot of people don't, and sure, there is bad karma, but a lot of people also don't take advantage of an opportunity when that's your chance to collect your karma. Karma doesn't always fall in your lap, but it does. It presents itself in an opportunity sometime, like, boom, karma collected. You have an opportunity to do something to redeem all that good karma you've been building up.
I agree.
And maybe that's it.
I agree.
When do you know? Was it time to give the karma or get the karma?
Take the power of the karma.
Because you didn't hurt anybody.
Put it to your
What's wrong? All you did was put a jersey on a statue in the middle of winter.
Yeah, big. You got to pay for that jersey. That's a big one.
Wow. That's your money, though.
And you got to hope you don't get caught.
You didn't steal it off the back of one of those guys at the Chiefs bar down the road.
No.
No.
I think that's a great idea. And I think if there's any Philadelphia.
The bad karma is you getting beat up by the Eagles fans while you're trying to put it on there.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd have to. You can't get caught doing that. You'd have to explain yourself.
Well, no, you do it wearing a Philly Eagles jersey.
Nah, that's just bad luck. Now we're talking about superstition.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things we just can't touch on because we don't know enough about it.
Yeah. Well, I believe in luck for the bad stuff.
Wait, now we're talking about luck?
That's superstition.
That it's all the same.
Anyway, close it out. We're derailed.
I think both of us are on the same page. We are both. I think we're both in the Eagles side of winning this game. I'm just hoping it's a close game. I don't care who wins. Just please be a close game. I have squares, and I just want my squares to win. That's all I care about this Sunday. So, DR, if you're listening, do me well, buddy. Everyone else, have fun gambling. Have fun doing whatever you're doing with the food or your friends. Drive safely. We'll have one more episode next week just to sum up all the bullshit we've talked about all season. Thank you for listening. Bye. Running Down the Clock is brought to you by the Ordinary Podcast Network and is every Thursday running until the week after the Super Bowl. We hope you enjoyed enough to subscribe and tune in again next week.